Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Haley Friedman here, and I brought in a couple of the guys that are in the office. We're all realtors. We've hung our licenses with eXp Realty, and today we're going to talk about being a real estate agent, what you need to do, and some of the things that you can focus on. So maybe you're taking a test right now, and you're super excited, and you're trying to get as much information as you can about what to do next. And those are some of the things that we're going to talk about today.
I relocated to the greater Sacramento area over 30 years ago as a family of 4 to plant our roots. What makes a place a home are the connections one makes to the community. Whether you're looking to buy or list your home, building the bridge to your next destination can be accomplished through my integration services. Integration through connections is what it's all about. From our family to yours, we say, welcome home. Licensed realtor in California, serving all Californians.
So with no further ado, I'll introduce you to Joe.
Hey.
And Rod.
Hello.
Which, by the way, some of the people in the room are super excited about doing this, and some of them are not so excited. But that's one of the reasons why I want to come to you and just be raw footage here and share this with you. So this content is strictly for those who are real estate agents today. Maybe you've been an agent for 30 years, or maybe you're brand new. The thing is, this whole video, YouTube, TikTok, what else do we have? Instagram, Facebook. There's just a mirage of them. Like you said, you didn't even know what Instagram.
I don't even know how to use Instagram.
He doesn't know how to use Instagram. But honestly, folks, that's how people are finding their realtor. That's how they're finding their property. And so we have to learn as professionals in any industry, doesn't matter what industry you're in, how to adapt, right? And so if you want to succeed in anything that you're doing, even just in life in general, it's to learn how to adapt and keep moving forward. Then you keep producing and finding a business model or finding something that fits your needs with your ethics, your morals. The business plan should make sense. And quite honestly, we're all 3 different, unique individuals, but one of the things that makes a lot of sense to us is the eXp business model, right?
Right.
What would you say, I'll give you a few seconds to think about it because we haven't rehearsed anything here. So what would you say was one of the first things that grabbed your interest or piqued your interest about the eXp business model? Joe or Rod?
Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, for me, it was really the ability to scale my business. You know, obviously everybody starts off as an agent. You're kind of a sole producer, but then you get to a point and you get to a tipping point in your business where you don't want to be stuck in production, you know, and the only way to do that is to really be able to build a business where you have other agents that are working with you, not necessarily for you, but with you, and you can scale. Like right now, I just brought on 2 agents from the Bay Area. I've got 5 relocation clients from the Bay Area. 2 I had to handle on my own because as I got them, these guys up and running, you know, but now the next 3 clients that I have, I don't have to make the trip out to the Bay Area because I've got Derek and I've got David. It's going to handle both my listings out over there and my buyer clients. And so it frees me up to be able to have time with, you know, my family again, you know, and it puts food on the table for these agents, but at the same time, it also frees up my time. So to me, that's more valuable, you know, than having to run back and forth, you know, for the sake of getting a deal done. And it's all me.
Right.
So it's not something that's personality driven now. I've got a platform where I can build my business, help some other agents build their business. You know, at the end of the day, we feed the family. So that was the reason I came over.
And you know, I came from a background of being an insurance broker and building that, and it has that residual income that keeps coming in. And so the thing is, how do you take a vacation, or how do you go to your son's college graduation, high school graduation? How do you attend these events and not think, how am I going to, you know, how I have a closing coming up or I have this coming up? Always production, which is great. Production income comes in. And we've seen other videos out there that talks about how much money you can make in real estate, but it really is work. It's working every day. And so working smart and coming in from an entrepreneurial standpoint is the difference between, in my opinion, any real estate agent that hears this business model and says, absolutely yes, like it just makes sense. Those are entrepreneurial mindsets that say, okay, I'm able to reproduce myself, replicate myself, and I'm helping to encourage, equip, and educate other agents so that they can be productive, and you want them to do the same business model you're doing, so they go out and they help other people.
Right.
And then pretty soon your production might be 1 or 2 a month, or maybe it's 6 a year, because this is a year that you guys are traveling Europe or something like that, right? So that mindset of being able to have a business model that while you're on vacation, there's still a passive income coming in. So we kind of touched on that a little bit, Rod, but was there anything else? Because maybe specifically, I know we all came from different places, right? I came from a boutique brokerage. You came from a boutique brokerage, and you came from a big name brand. Yeah. So what was one of the things, I know we even bumped into each other at a showing. Yeah, an open house. You get an open house, and I had a client that was interested, and there was just something, I don't know, and I was like, hey, I'm with EXP, and you kind of were asking questions a little bit at that time.
Right.
I'm kicking myself for not following up with a phone call, but that's okay. We're in the same office now, right? So yeah, if you just have something that really struck you.
So it was more of just the camaraderie in business, the feel of camaraderie, and not feeling so individualized, and like I felt like a co-op banker. So here it's more, what's the saying? All rise tide. When the rise tide, all rise. I don't even know that saying, but
rise tide lifts all ships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's more of the feeling that I get here than you would at like an EXP or KW, where it just feels like you're more kind of centralized on your own. And it's kind of counterintuitive, right? You think that when you come to this model that you'd be kind of left alone, but actually it's such an area or a brokerage where everyone's just trying to help everyone. So if you understand the model, I think you'd have a better understanding of, this is the right place to be. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we should describe the model here, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's, they the way they do it now is that they're giving you the power as the agent, not the brokers having the power over you, basically. So I don't know if we can kind of
go into that a little bit. So
yeah.
I think the biggest thing that you touched on, which is huge, is that there is a misconception out there, because there's a bazillion. This is I'm putting this onto YouTube, so there are a bazillion YouTubes out there on why not to join EXP. And then there's a bazillion of top 3 reasons. I even have a top 3 reasons to join. So the business model is out there. Obviously, if you click, I forgot to tell you that also, please subscribe to my channel, click like, subscribe, and there's that there. But in the reality is that online brokerage.
Well, I don't even think you really have. I don't even think we have to describe it. I think there's so many videos out there about the actual model. I mean, you could Google it yourself and you can find out. And if not, call Haley. She'll be able to describe it for you.
Well, any one of us could, but I think
I really recommend you dive into that model and check it out, because it will change your point of view, and it will change your life, actually. So
yeah.
And if you want to go into this video about it, you're more than welcome to. But
well, I think the point that I was going to touch on was that the online brokerage part, a lot of people believe that, especially like I said, we're reaching out to people that are maybe new, not necessarily brokers, although brokers every day are moving over and they're moving their whole teams. Yep. So EXP kind of has this reputation right now as, that's where brokers move to. But the reality is it's where entrepreneurs move to, honestly, and entrepreneurs that want to support one another. So I know that there's a lot of professional organizations out there where you come together and you have meetings, and you might just be like Chamber of Commerce and different things like that. EXP is like this big, huge support platform where we can talk to people. I was talking to a gal from North Carolina the other day, because somebody that I had introduced to the program, they came in, I sponsored them. We were in the world and we're looking around, and she was just in there checking things out because she was brand new. And so we had a conversation with what's going on in the North Carolina market. So it's not just like, even right here, we chose to have an office. We chose to come together. I think because we were tired of being at home with COVID, huh?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the at-home stuff is good for a while, but really the business model is simply this, that if I share this business model with someone and they're like, absolutely, and I sponsor them, this is where the key is. If I sponsor them, they're coming in through me, then they get the same 80-20 that everyone else gets. That's the business model right there, 80-20. But what the company does is normally a broker will take that 20% and they will pay their expenses. They'll pay all their overhead, everything like that. And if there's a little bit left over or whatever's left over, they might do some type of a, what is it called, profit share or something like that, or they might give you some kind of like a turkey at Christmas or something. But I mean,
Might
really,
take you out to Chili's or
they
something.
might give you Chili's or have a whatever.
Yeah.
But revenue is revenue in. So right off at the top, that whole 20%, just because I brought someone in, EXP says, thank you for doing that. I'm going to give you a portion of our 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say our 20% is because we're publicly traded, right? At EXP World Holdings. So we all own stock in the company, right? So every transaction that closes, I invest a portion of every one of my transactions back into my business model. So that takes care of, with the reinvestment, I'm looking at my retirement. Because honestly, I don't want to be 82 years old and opening up doors when it's pouring down rain, right?
Amen to that.
So
I think Rod wants to do that though.
Yeah, no, well, I think that's why Rod said he really wanted to go into the business model a little bit more. Is if you understand it, what you see is all of a sudden you can start, especially if you're a seasoned agent and you have a pile full of clients, you can take those clients and you continue working those, right?
Right.
So your repeat business, once you guys have both been in the business a lot longer than I have. I had to come out, that's why I did the YouTube, and I know a lot of you guys are getting into that venue because now, how do we meet people? And really with the online auctions, you can list a house and have people all across the nation looking at it, right? So how do people relocate to the greater Sacramento area if they're living in North Carolina or New York? How are they going to find an agent, right?
Right.
So with EXP, we do have referrals and we can work with that. And the beautiful thing about that is we don't have any territories.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I know that I didn't realize this because I hadn't even expanded that far, but I've always been a global thinker. I'm an adoptive mom. My youngest was adopted from China. So I've been all the way to China and back. I've been to Peru, Philippines, different places. I love going to different places. I love meeting new people. And EXP is doing the same thing. They're opening up in all of these countries. We're growing so quickly. So it doesn't matter where you're at home watching this. Maybe you get an interpreter if you don't speak English. But we're on multiple continents. I mean, all over the place. And so it's a great way for us to connect and refer. But let's say that you didn't know anyone and you just were looking, you said, hey, I want to move to the Sacramento area, or I was thinking of moving to the Sacramento area, and you stumble across this. Maybe you're a realtor and you're wanting to come over here. Maybe you heard about EXP in your home state, but you were relocating. Rod, how do you feel about the support that you get by working closely with the people that sponsor you?
Right. So basically, they're, in lack of better words, they're your mentor. But there's tentacles to that. So within the whole EXP family, you can reach out to anybody within that family, and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. I mean, right away. So it's not like you have this one small unit if you are like on a team and at one of these bigger brokerages where you can just reach out to your team. Here you go beyond that and you can reach out to anybody within the organization and they'll get back to you, which is a breath of fresh air. If you've ever been to one of these, again, KW, these bigger brokerages where it's just kind of every man for themselves, every team for themselves. Here it's everybody helps everybody. And it's more along the lines of a corporation. If a corporation feel that everybody's helping one another, because again, that saying is, help me out with the saying, all tides
rise and carry the ships with them.
Something like that.
I don't know.
But
all I know is red sky at night, sailors till night, red sky in the morning. Okay, there you go.
My point is that everyone's trying to help everyone to lift each other, and that makes a whole world.
It's a teamwork mentality.
Yeah.
So I think I've got it then. I think I have something easier for me to remember. The cream rises to the top, and at EXP, when the cream rises to the top, we're all rising together, right?
That's correct.
So it's kind of that mentality of not just serving our clients, but we're serving one another. In fact, we had a conversation earlier, right, about trust me, if you're new, you're going to get hit with US HUD, realtor.com. Should I advertise on Zillow? Should I advertise on this or that? And you might just, if you have marketing money, which I did, I threw that in to try to build the business. Because again, I had residual income from a prior business that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to really come on board and just like a gunshot, what do they call it? Like where you just throw it out there at everything. Shotgun. Yeah. So shotgun, and then whatever started working. So I'm revamping and looking at things, and I'm cutting people out right now. I'm like, I've been with these people for 5 months. That's $1,500, and I have nothing to show for it.
Right.
So what I do have is that I had the experience that I tried it, I tested it, and it didn't work for me.
Right.
But why should you have to try it then? And it not work for you, right? So that's why I shared that information with you, and that's the camaraderie that we have in our offices. And you do want to feel like you can connect and collaborate and not compete and like hiding your stuff.
Right. I mean, here's a perfect example. So Rod had a pocket listing, out over here in the Camden area. I had a buyer, and I just said, hey, what do you have? You got any sellers in this area that this is what we're looking for? And he's like, yeah, I have somebody that's thinking about it. I'm like, well, tell them I've got a buyer. Here's a pre-approval. We're good up to $650,000, and it happened to fit the points that she wanted, and we happen to fit the profile. And so it was a great example of a team coming together,
right.
Where he's got an off-market listing, I've got an off-market buyer, and we were able to marry the two together.
Right.
Looked at the house, and now we're going to get, we're going to have a win-win for both clients. And that only happened because we share the information as a team.
Exactly. So we have the grand scale of the team, which is all EXP because we have no boundaries and no borders. If I was licensed in 5 states, I could sell in all 5 states, and I still have one cap. I obviously love the company because I'm part owner of it, and you're part owner of it, and you're part owner of it. And I love the people that I work with. I like this mentality and the way that they give back. So I hope today's videos, for those of you who are thinking of, becoming a real estate agent, or maybe you're getting ready to take an exam. I don't care what state you're from. I don't care if you're in California, if you're in North Carolina, if you're in Texas, no matter where you're at. You've got agents like Rod and Joe and myself that we are active. We have a lot of transactions going on. We are staying busy, and we're also sharing that opportunity. And so who you get sponsored by really, in my opinion, does matter because, for example, I ran across someone who said they didn't like EXP at all. And could you imagine, like, what kind of a sponsor would that be if that person says, I don't like it or it's not for me? Mm-hmm. Again, entrepreneurial mindset. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, this is the place for you. If you want to grow expeditiously, this is the place for you. And if you're looking for sponsors, obviously, this is my YouTube channel. Reach out to me. I'd love to sponsor you. I'm also a certified mentor, so I could even mentor those that I sponsor. But if I know I'm just like such a pretty face. So maybe you're a male out there and your wife is like, you're not getting sponsored by her. There's these 2 guys. So, and then
one team.
But we are one team. And so the point being is we are all unique individuals. You'll make that connection. But at the end of the day, we're here to help and support one another. We want to help and support you get into the business. We want to be able to share those things that we've learned, like, hey, I spent $1,500 with this ad campaign. It didn't return anything. And, some of them do, because I'm with another ad campaign that a lot of people have bailed on. But there is a technique that I use, and I'm just going to share it, is I use with Zillow. And my conversion rate is really high. So if you're wanting to know if you're out there and you're using Zillow and you're like pulling your hair out because you're feeling like they're not good leads, I can help you with that as well. So we're here to serve. We hope that your real estate career is a success. We know that we've chosen EXP, and there's no looking back for me. This is where I'm going to be. I'm vested. I've got my shares. I've got everything going. I just shared that with my husband yesterday. Showed him all of the stock that I have.
I think you should put a couple of links how the business model actually works. So I think when you post it, put a couple of links about just basic models.
Look at this guy.
Hey, down below, right?
Right down below, you know.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Put links down
I don't know
below.
what
But I
that means,
really,
but
honestly, I
that's-
do think
yeah,
you
It
should
sounds good.
Yeah.
put some links
No,
down
it's
below
true. Yeah,
about just how the basic model works. And
absolutely.
And then, if you have any specific questions, call Haley. She will answer them for you. And
I will. I'm here to help and promote. And if you, I will also have links to their business pages so that you can also connect with Rod or Joe if you'd like to too. I just appreciated them coming on today. Neither one of them, I said, guys, we're just doing a video today.
Yeah.
We had no script, no anything, but
Nope.
that's just kind of how we roll. And I hope that this has been informative. Again, if you've stayed to this long, if you have specific questions, like Rod said, which my trainer in YouTube, yes, I hired a professional YouTube trainer. I was supposed to do all that hit, like, whatever. I told him I'm off the cuff. I don't like scripts, but because I'm just real honest, open, and transparent. But I know that sometimes people feel like, squirrel, where'd she go? So we'll hone it in. We're gonna solidify this with EXP was right for me. It was right for these guys. We believe that if you're an entrepreneur, it's going to be right for you. If you're a broker, realtor, if you're studying and want more questions answered, reach out today. Have a blessed day, and
See you at the top.
we'll see you at the top.
All
The
right.
cream rises to the
Bye,
top.
guys.